Well, you look nervous. Is it the scars?
You want to know how I got them? Come here. Hey. Look at me.
In this video, I'm going to talk about the biological basis of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia, which is a common long-term mental disorder that causes a large amount of distress and disability. Schizophrenia is the prototype of the category of mental illness called the psychotic disorders. Let me just write that. Psychosis. Psychosis. And psychosis refers to some specific abnormalities of cognition and often, characteristically, abnormal perceptions of reality. These may include hallucinations, which are sensory perceptions without actual stimuli, like hearing or seeing things that aren't actually there, or delusions, which are fixed false beliefs not explainable by a person's culture, like if someone has the idea that someone else is controlling their thoughts. The abnormalities of schizophrenia are often divided into three big categories. So let me just write 3 arrows here. The first of these are called cognitive symptoms. Cognitive. And there can be all sorts of cognitive symptoms with schizophrenia, such as abnormalities of attention, organization, or things like planning abilities. The second big category of abnormalities in schizophrenia are often called the negative symptoms. Negative. And these can include things like blunted emotions or a loss of enjoyment in activities. The third big category are often called positive symptoms. Positive symptoms. And these are typically the things that we refer to with this term psychosis, things like the hallucinations and delusions that are very characteristic of schizophrenia and the other psychotic disorders. But it really can produce these very complex syndromes spanning many different kind of mental functions, from the more thinking type of functions like the cognitive abnormalities, to the more emotional and motivational type functions like the negative symptoms, to the more perceptual abnormalities, these positive symptoms. Schizophrenia, either when their brains have been examined at autopsy after they've passed away, or with special scans that can look at the structures of the brain. But now there are newer kinds of scans that can actually look at the activity in different areas of the brain. And some studies that have been looking at these scans have also noticed in areas of the frontal and temporal lobes, in some of these same areas that the structural abnormalities have been seen, there appears to be a signal that there may be abnormal activity on the kinds of functional scans that we have currently. So a likely possibility is that in patients who develop schizophrenia, something happens abnormally during development of the brain, and that these particular areas of the brain do not develop normally, leading to the disease.